I ate alone on my 30th birthday while my family drove 2 states to celebrate my sister's baby shower using the $14,000 I gave them for emergencies. I wasn't invited. When I asked why, she said, "You were accidentally left off the list of 61 people." I didn't argue. I just canceled every autopay on their utilities, removed their access to my Netflix, and left a box at their door. 12 days later, my sister screamed when my lawyer called and said, "You were accidentally left off the list of 61 people." That's what Emily said, like it was some kind of clerical error, like my name had just slipped off, wedged somewhere between Aunt Trisha gluten-free and +1 TBD. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I didn't even reply. I just looked at the screen, stared at the bubble with her message in it, then set my phone down and stared at the untouched plate of food in front of me. It was my birthday, 30, a milestone. I ate cold takeout alone on the couch while my family toasted Emily's baby with champagne 2 states away using the $14,000 I gave them last spring. You know, for emergencies. The emergency apparently was that my sister didn't want to have her shower in a park. She wanted a vineyard with catering and a photo booth. Your name wasn't on the spreadsheet. She'd add it in the second message, as if that explained anything. It was just an honest mistake. Sure. And I guess the part where they didn't even call or text to say happy birthday was a glitch too. I didn't respond to that one either. I just quietly logged into the utility account and canceled the autopay on their electric, water, and internet bills. Then I logged into Netflix, removed all their profiles, changed the password. The next morning, I boxed up a bunch of mail bills, expired coupons, an old sweater my mom left at my place, and left it on their front porch with a post-it note. Returned. To sender. I didn't write anything else. Didn't include a card or a threat or a clever quote, just a box, a symbol. 12 days later, my lawyer called, said my sister screamed when she answered the phone. Something about how could he, and this is going too far, he just asked calmly, "Would you like to proceed with the formal dispute?" I said, "Yes." But this story didn't start on my birthday. It didn't even start with the money. It started months ago with a phone call from my dad and a favor that felt small at the time. One more sacrifice, one more. You're the responsible one. I should have seen it coming. Because in my family, love is conditional, and silence. Silence is the currency you pay to stay in good standing. But I was done paying. I didn't start counting favors until I realized they were counting dollars. See that $14,000 I gave them? It wasn't a gift. It wasn't even a loan. It was a lifeline. For them. Not that they'd ever say thank you. No, my dad called it responsible family planning. My mom called it helping out while things are tight. Emily, she just called it finally some relief. It started after their roof caved in, or so they said. Dad called me in April, voice rough and panicked. Water's coming through the drywall. I don't even know what to do. We can't afford a new roof right now. If it spreads, we might have to leave the house. My gut twisted. I hated that part of me that still wanted to protect them. They've been dropping hints for months. Late notices, broken fridge, missed prescriptions. So I wired the money, $14,000. Told them to use it wisely. I never asked for it back. I just asked them to keep me in the loop. 2 months later, I saw a Facebook post. Emily in a custom satin dress standing under a balloon arch that said, "Mommy to be." My parents were beaming. There were string lights, floral walls, a dessert cart shaped like a pram, location tagged Chateau Elon Vineyards, one of the most expensive venues in the state, and there it was. The caption, "So grateful for the best family a girl could ask for. Thank you for making this shower unforgettable." My name mentioned, I felt sick. The next morning, I called Mom. I saw the post. "I didn't realize you guys had planned something big for the shower." She hesitated. "Oh, honey, I thought Emily told you. It kind of came together last minute. You invited 60 people. Well, 61, and not one of those names was mine." Silence. Then too casually. Emily handled the list. Maybe it just slipped her mind. That was the day I stopped answering calls from them. But it wasn't the day things exploded. That came later when I found out where the rest of the money went. Because they hadn't just used it on the vineyard and catering. They used it to lease Emily a car. Not just any car, a white Lexus UX with a vanity plate. Mama tub, I found out from one of her Instagram reels. She spun in front of it with that awful filter that adds fake freckles and sparkles. The caption said, "Surprise from the best parents ever. I'm in love. Best parents ever." I stared at that screen for 10 minutes before I finally closed the app. I didn't cry, I didn't shout, I just sat in the dark surrounded by receipts and screenshots and realized the truth. They never saw me as part of the family. I was just the banker. But the final slap, it came in the group chat. It was my cousin Rachel who sent a message. "Emily told us your birthday got moved. Thought you were out of town." Then a reply from Emily. "Omo, he said he wanted a quiet one this year, who celebrates 30. Anyway, the group lit up with laughing emojis. Aunt Trish chimed in, always so dramatic, even as a kid. Dad dropped a gift of a clown holding a balloon. I left the chat quietly without a word, but I screenshotted everything. Days later, a PayPal notification pinged my phone. My parents tried to use my account again. $17.99, $23 a grocery delivery to their house. I canceled it immediately. Then I called the utility companies and removed my billing information. Then I went to Netflix, gone. HBO Max, gone. Hulu, gone. They had nothing in their names. And still, not one of them called me to ask why. Instead, Emily posted this to her Instagram story. "Funny how people change once you stop depending on them. Stay grateful. Stay real." She tagged our mom. That night, I made a folder on my desktop. Evidence, family fraud. I wasn't even sure what I'd do with it yet until I got an email. It was from a collection agency. Apparently, my name was still attached to an old phone plan I thought I'd closed. The balance was over $600, past due. The number registered to Emily. I called the agency and confirmed it. She'd upgraded the phone twice and let it default. That was the night I started digging, and what I found changed everything. Tucked deep inside my shared Google Drive, the one I used to help my parents with taxes, was a scanned PDF, a tax return. Not mine, my father's. It listed me as a dependent. I'm 30, I haven't lived in their house for a decade. And right there, plain as day, in his own digital signature, was the note. Son assists with utilities and provides supplemental care. He was writing me off literally for years. Then I checked my credit report. There it was, a hard inquiry from a car dealership 3 months ago. I called. "Yes, sir. We have a co-signed pre-approval with your SSN and James Walters as the primary applicant." That was my dad. He'd used my identity, or at least signed things in my name. Maybe thinking I wouldn't notice, or that I'd forgive it. When I confronted him, over text he sent a single reply. "You're overreacting. It's family. Don't make this uglier than it needs to be. No apology, no explanation, just guilt." But what really lit the fuse? Emily sent me a Venmo request for $84 for diaper raffle supplies. No note, no smiley face. Just a bold demand like it was her right. I declined it. Then she sent it again with a message. "Don't be petty." So I sent her 1 cent with a note. "You were accidentally left off the list of people I respect." That's when it got real. My mom called me crying the next day. Said Emily was upset that I was creating division, that I needed to stop airing dirty laundry. I asked her, "What about all the money?" She paused, then said, "You never said it was a loan." And there it was. Everything I'd ever done, every bill I covered, every favor I gave was just expected. My job, my role. I was never a brother, never a son, just a walking, breathing debit card. I chose the bar on purpose. It was the same one my dad used to take, me too, when I turned 21. Back then, it felt like some kind of initiation, his way of saying I was finally worth being seen with in public. He never said he was proud, but he let me order what he was drinking. That was supposed to be enough. This time, I arrived 15 minutes late on purpose. He was already there. Same booth, same beer, same condescending look. So he said, leaning back, "You ready to stop playing martyr?" "No." "Hello?" "No." "Happy birthday." Just war. I slid into the seat across from him and dropped the folder on the table. Thick, packed, labeled in black Sharpie. Proof. He didn't even look at it. "You really want to go down this road?" "I already have," I said. He shook his head and gave me the smirk he always used when he thought he was winning, the one that made you feel like a kid again. Small, powerless. "We're family," he said like it meant something. "We make mistakes, but we keep it in the family. That's the rule." I stayed quiet. I wanted him to dig the hole deeper. "Your mother's a wreck. Emily's a mess." Over what? A few misunderstandings? "You think blowing up our lives over a couple $1,000 makes you a man?" That's when I opened the folder. First page, a printed copy of his 2023 tax return. Line 4. Claimed dependent adult son contributes utilities and elder care. What of it? You committed fraud. You claimed I lived with you. I haven't in 10 years. Next page. A scanned credit application from a Lexus dealership. His name and mine. My signature forged. That's technically a felony, at least from what my lawyer said. I didn't want it to go that far, but I had to protect myself. Come on. I was going to tell you when after you crashed the car or defaulted again. Next, a collection of Instagram screenshots. Emily showing off her surprise Lexus, the baby shower at the vineyard, champagne fountains, all posted within weeks of the $14,000 I sent for emergencies. He didn't speak for a while, just stared. So, I handed him the final sheet, a notarized letter from my attorney terminating all financial and legal ties. I'd removed my name from every account, canceled every payment, transferred everything I could back into my name. Utilities, mortgage, cell plan gone. "You think this makes you powerful?" he said, voice low now. "You think this makes you better than us?" I looked him dead in the eyes. "No, it makes me free." He slammed his hand on the table. The glasses jumped. "Don't give me this holier-than-thou nonsense with me. You think I haven't seen the way you look at us? Like you're above it all. I was never above it. I was under it, carrying you, all of you." While you laughed behind my back, his jaw clenched, his hands curled into fists. "You wouldn't be where you were without me." "You're right," I said, "because you taught me exactly what not to be." He froze then, softer, like he thought he could still twist the knife. "You think the world will love you more than your family? They won't. You'll end up alone. That's what happens when you burn bridges." I leaned forward. "I didn't burn a bridge. I tore down the prison you built across it." Then I stood up. I left the folder on the table. "Those are your copies," I said, "for your lawyer." He didn't respond, just sat there red in the face, staring like he couldn't believe he lost. "You said I was accidentally left off the list," I added, walking away. "You're about to find out what it feels like to be intentionally erased." I didn't call anyone after the meeting with my father. I didn't need to. By the time I walked out of that bar, everything was already in motion. That night, I sent 3 emails. No subject lines, just attachments, names, dates, screenshots, and signatures. Each one went to a different destination. My bank, the IRS, and my lawyer. The next morning, my attorney filed formal notices for identity misuse and financial fraud. 2 hours later, I got a notification from the credit bureau. The Lexus lease tied to my name had been voided and flagged for investigation. It was no longer my problem. It was Emily's now. By noon, her Instagram story disappeared. All of them. The car, the nails, the Mama2B vanity plate, gone like they never existed. She switched her account to private, but I already had the receipts. That same day, the mortgage company called my parents. I've been paying their bills through a side account for almost 3 years. Quietly, I never wanted the attention, but now, the name on that account had been legally removed. The bank wanted to know who would be covering the balance going forward. Spoiler, no one answered. Within 48 hours, their electricity bill bounced. Their phone lines followed. Netflix sent an email that the profiles Emily, Dad, and Mom too had been deleted. I watched the names vanish one by one. It felt like erasing a virus. I didn't block them. I didn't rage post. I didn't scream. I just removed myself. Removed them. Removed the idea that I owed them anything beyond silence. That weekend, I got a call from a block number. I let it go to voicemail. It was my mother. "I know you're upset. But you don't have to destroy everything. Please, this is your family. Then came a second one from my dad. You've made your point. What you're doing now, it's beyond cruel. We don't deserve this. I listened to both messages while folding laundry. Calm, focused, like someone watching old security footage, knowing the crime was already solved. The next blow landed harder, but I was ready. Emily sent me an email. Subject line. Wow. Inside was one line. You always were jealous of me. Now the world sees who you really are. No punctuation, no context. So I replied with a PDF, her credit card statement, the one I paid off twice, where the last $3,200 went to the exact same vineyard she claimed she couldn't afford without family help. No message, just the numbers. She never replied again. On need. Tuesday morning, I received confirmation that the IRS had flagged my father's 2023 return for audit. The moment he claimed me as a dependent while simultaneously forging a car lease in my name, the system caught it. Not because I screamed, but because I submitted. Quiet doesn't mean weak. Quiet is just what you hear before the detonation. The B. Fallout wasn't instant, but it was steady and brutal. By Friday, I started hearing from second-tier relatives. A cousin I hadn't spoken to in 5 years messaged me. Hey, I know things are tense, but your mom's not doing well. Can we talk? I didn't answer. Then an uncle sent a guilt-drenched essay. You've always been so kind. You're better than this. Families fight, but they come back together. Funny, I couldn't remember the last time any of them fought for me, so I ignored them too. What finally hit me hardest wasn't a voicemail or a plea. It was silence. They stopped trying, just stopped. No more calls, no more emails. The family chat stayed dead. My birthday had come and gone. And for the first time in my adult life, I didn't get a single late apology, belated meme, or half-hearted, hope you're well. And that was fine because now every time they went to stream something, order something, apply for credit, they'd be reminded, not by me, but by rejection. Payment declined, insufficient credit. Account owner removed access. No screams, just systems updating. And I didn't gloat. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't need the applause. This wasn't revenge. It was maintenance. They stopped calling. No more guilt. No more begging. No more explanations about what family means. And for the first time, I didn't feel empty. I felt done. That's when I booked the flight. Bali greeted me with rain. Not the angry kind, the soft kind. Warm and honest like the island knew I came to wash something off. I stood barefoot on the porch of a wooden villa, holding a mug of bitter coffee, watching the sky dissolve into the trees. No noise, no notifications, no one asking for a favor. Day 3, I whispered to myself. Still no guilt. I didn't tell anyone. I was leaving the country. I didn't post, I didn't announce, I just logged out. They wanted to forget me. Fine. I made it official. The trip wasn't a spontaneous escape. I've been planning it quietly while pretending to smile during birthdays and wiring money like an obedient fool, back when I was still hoping someone might say thank you. I stayed in a small place north of Abu. No Wi-Fi in the room, no TV, just a fan that squeaked slightly when the wind was strong. I like that fan. It reminded me of the noise back home, but distant, powerless. One morning, I got an email. The subject line was a single emoji from my mother. Emily had the baby. She named her Grace. We thought you might want to know. No pressure, but it would mean a lot if you came. I closed the email, let it sit there, like a dead insect under glass. Didn't reply, didn't delete it, just archived it. Later that day, I bought a postcard from a local shop. It was bright yellow with a cartoonish beach and a crab holding a drink. I flipped it over and wrote 5 words. Wish you weren't here. Me? I didn't sign it. I sent it to my parents' house. No return address, no message inside. Just silence sealed in a stamp. Then I walked to a war, ordered fried rice, and spent the afternoon floating in the pool, letting the sun take what little tension I had left. By the end of the week, I realized something strange. I didn't miss them. Not the noise, not the chaos, not even the fake warmth they weaponized so well. They had cut me off from love years ago. They just didn't realize I'd stopped bleeding. On my last day, I took one final step. New SIM card, new email, new number. I left my old phone in the hotel safe. Factory reset, a symbolic grave. The front desk lady asked, "You're not coming back?" "Not to that version of me," I said, smiling. She laughed. "Good." He looked tired. At the airport, I bought a fridge magnet shaped like a coconut. It said, "Paradise isn't a place, it's the absence of obligation." I smiled and stuck it in my carry-on. No souvenirs for anyone else, just that one for me. And when the plane took off, I didn't look back because this time no one was chasing me. And finally, I wasn't carrying anyone but